Good morning, students. Once again, welcome to our online class. Students, today in this video, we are going to read theme 3 from the book 1 of Ancient Indian History. This is the concluding part of this theme, and today we are covering two important topics. That is, the first one is handling texts, historians and the Mahabharata, and the second topic is Mahabharata, a dynamic text. So students, under handling texts, historians and the Mahabharata, we will cover these topics also: language and content, authors and dates, the search of convergence, and at last a Mahabharata, a dynamic text. So these topics today we are going to cover, students. So listen to my lecture so that it will help you in writing the exam in a easy manner. So students, if you look through the sources cited in this chapter, if you look to the sources that were cited in this chapter once more, you will notice that historians consider several elements when they analyze these texts. That means, if you look at the sources which are cited in this chapter, then you will come across or you notice that historians consider several elements when they analyze these texts. The historians examine whether the texts were written in ordinary languages such as Prakrit, Pali and Tamil, okay, or in Sanskrit, which is the language meant almost all for exclusively for priests and elite people. That means, at that time the ordinary languages were Prakrit, Pali and Tamil, and Sanskrit language is exclusively meant for the priests and the allied group people. They also consider the kinds of text. Historians. There were mantras learnt and chanted by ritual specialists, or the stories that people could have read or heard and then retold if they could found them interesting. Historians try to find out about the authors of these texts. Those perspectives and ideas shaped the text as well as the intended audience. As very often, authors keep the interests of their audience in mind while composing their work, and they try to ascertain the possible dates of the composition and the compilation of the text as well as the place where they may have been composed. That means, students, historians, they examine whether the texts which are given in the textbook were written in Prakritic or Prakrit, Pali or Tamil, which are the ordinary language of the people at that time, or the Sanskrit, which is the language used by especially by priests and the allied people. And when the authors composed these texts, they always kept in mind the interest of the audience. They also tried to write the date, probably date and the place where they have composed these texts. So in this way, historians analyze the texts which are cited in this chapter. Now coming to language and content. Language and content. Students, if you look the Mahabharata, the great epic, a dynamic text, the version of Mahabharata, if you see, almost it was written in Sanskrit language. Okay. And it was found easy also. I repeat, Mahabharata text has been written in what? Sanskrit. Although there are versions in other languages as well. However, Sanskrit is used in the Mahabharata is far simpler than that of the Vedas. Historians usually classify the contents of the present text under two broad heads, namely sections that contain stories. Sections that contain stories designated as the narrative, and sections that contain prescriptions about social norms. These are designated as what? Didactic or didactic. A didactic means it refers something that is meant for purposes of instruction. Didactic means what? Something which is meant for what? Instructing. Okay. This division is by no means watertight. The didactic sections include stories. The didactic sections include stories, and the narrative often contains a social message. However, generally, historians agree that the Mahabharata was meant to be a dynamic, moving story, and that the didactic portions were probably added later. Okay, students? Now, interestingly, the text is described as an itihasa. Itihasa means what? History. Within early Sanskrit tradition. The literary meaning of the term thus it was, what is the literary meaning of the term thus it was, which is why. It is generally translated as what? History. Itihasa means what? History. Was there a real war? Was there a real war that was remembered in the epic? We are not sure about that one. Some historians think that the memory of an actual conflict amongst kinfolk was preserved in the narrative. Others point out that there is no other collaborative evidence in the battle. Now, coming to next one, authors and dates. Authors and date. Now the question arises, who wrote the text? The great epic Mahabharata. This is a question to which there are several answers. The original story was probably composed by the charioteer, those who are riding the chariots. Originally, the text of Mahabharata was composed by the charioteers, those who are riding the chariots of the, Kshatriya rulers during the war, during the battle. So who wrote the text? This is the question to which there were several answers. The original story of Mahabharata was composed by the charioteer bards, poets, known as sutas. So the charioteer bards are called sutas. Okay, who generally accompanied the Kshatriya rulers or warriors to the battlefield and composed poems celebrating their victories. Whenever they get victory in the battle, so they are writing the poems or some verses on them and other achievements of the Kshatriya rulers. These compositions circulated orally. Initially, these compositions were circulated orally. There is no written script. Then, from the 5th century BC, Brahmanas took over the story and began to commit to the writing. That means initially the Mahabharata story was composed by the charioteers, bards, who accompanied the Kshatriya warriors in the battlefield. These charioteer bards, they composed about their victories and other achievements. Later from 5th century BC, it is the Brahmanas who took the responsibility of writing this story. This was the time when chiefdoms such as those of the Kurus and Panchalas, around whom the story of the epic revolves. Kuru, I told Mahabharata and the Kauravas and Pandavas belongs to Kuru dynasty, where gradually become kingdoms. Did the new kings want their Itihasa to be recorded and preserved more systematically? That is the question. It is also possible that the upheavals that often accompanied the establishment of the states, where old social values were often replaced by the new norms, new principles, are reflected in the or in some parts of the story. Students, we notice another phase in the composition of the text between 200 BC to 200 Common Era. This is the period when the worship of Vishnu was growing importance, and Krishna is one of the important figures of the epic, was coming to be identified with Vishnu. Subsequently, between 200 and 400 Common Era, large didactic sections resembling the Manusmriti were added. With these additions, a text which initially perhaps had less than 1000 verses, I told Mahabharata is having 1000 verses, grew to compromise about 10,000 verses. I mean 1 lakh verses, I'm sorry. This enormous composition is traditionally attributed to a sage named Vyasa. So who wrote Mahabharata? Ved Vyasa. Okay. Now, the search of convergence, or the search for convergence, I can say. The search for convergence, students, means the Mahabharata, like any major epic, contains vivid, variety descriptions of battles. In Mahabharata epic, what you are going to read? The vivid description of battles, forest places, palaces and settlements. So these are the things which are described in the great epic Mahabharata. Present day historians suggest that the fact that the authors describe a polyandrous union indicates that the polyandry means what? Already we have studied in the previous videos. Okay, polyandry may have been prevalent among ruling elites. Polyandry, one male and many females. So this polyandry system was prevalent in the ruling families or elites at some point of time. Some historians noted that while the practice of polyandry may have seemed unusual or even undesirable from the Brahmanical point of view, it is not fair. Okay, which is prevalent in the Himalayan region. Okay, now coming to our last topic, a dynamic text. We can call Mahabharata a dynamic text. In the examination also they may ask one question, how do you say that Mahabharata is a dynamic text? Okay, so what is given here, students? Listen carefully. The Mahabharata can be considered as a dynamic text. Mahabharata can be considered as a dynamic text because it has been written over a span of time, long span of time, not in one day. It is written in a span of time. That is the first reason. Second reason, as the growth of the Mahabharata did not stop with the Sanskrit version. That means earlier initially it was written in Sanskrit, but later on it was composed in many other languages. Okay, today you can purchase any Mahabharata book of your own language which you can read. Over the centuries, versions of the epic, Mahabharata epic, were written in variety of languages through an ongoing process of dialogue between peoples, communities and those who wrote the text. So that's why we are calling Mahabharata is a dynamic text. Okay, so I am reading the textbook, students, listen carefully. The growth of Mahabharata did not stop with the Sanskrit version. Over the centuries, the versions of epic was written in a variety of languages through an ongoing process of dialogue between peoples, communities, and those who wrote the text. Several factors that originated in the specific regions or circulated amongst certain people found their way into the epic. At the same time, the central story of the epic was often retold in different ways, and episodes were depicted in sculpture and painting. The great epic of Mahabharata also depicted in the form of sculpture and paintings. They also provided themes for a wide range of performing arts such as plays, dance, and other kinds of narrations. So students, this is the end of this chapter, theme 3, that is kings, caste and class. So we will come up with some more topics in the coming videos. Till then, thank you, take care.